if there's any one chemical that's more behind this than anything else, like what are we doing all the time that could be contributing to this? If we just had one little thing in it that had an effect on the brain, and if it was in the food all the time and we ate it all the time, then we would basically ensuring the degradation of our mind, and that would be the pesticides, which is where glyphosate has had a whopping $11 billion in lawsuits won against them, and 100,000 cases won, 50,000 cases pending. And what is it? And now here's the best question to ask, because then you say glyphosate's the issue, and then glyphosate is just like some random word that some company made up, which is basically like the reinvention of IG Farben, who ran the concentration camps in Germany. Thank you, Monsanto and Bayer and the wicked kind of system that literally does not care about you at all. And guess how they're feeding the medical system? By poisoning the people so that you need the drugs. And that's why, look, what's the medical symbol? It's a serpent. And
do we have like evidence of, so like what's a big country that doesn't use glyphosate? Like does maybe does like Japan not allow it? And we can like look and see like, oh, these people eat it way less, we eat it way more, or like,
yes.
But also the lifestyles are so disparate there anyway. And then genetic differences between someone in a German and a Japanese person. I don't know. Oh, Italy doesn't use anything with
Mexico,
glyphosate?
Vietnam, Germany.
I wish Mexico didn't. There'd be definitely some regions in all areas. Like apparently that, Luxembourg has a ban and Denmark has a ban. Germany, some parts of Germany and Italy have certain bans on that. And you're right about the fact that we should go deeper into that data to find examples. But there are no countries that entirely free of pesticide use nationwide. So therefore, we're kind of a little stuck with getting that data if you wanted to get it from a country. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But this really interesting factor here, what is it made out of? And that's the reason why nicotine works. Okay, what do you think they might be made out of? What would poison, and I'm not trying to get everyone to guess here, but like what would it be that would poison the pests and that works so effectively at killing the pest, but somehow not kill you immediately, but actually kill you over time? It's they're using synthetic compounds of wasp, spider, snake, scorpion, cone snail venoms, and they're the world-leading patent holders for animal venoms as pesticides.
So the animal venoms are what they derive glyphosate from, and that the bugs don't like being around that, and so they just don't touch the corn.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I believe that's how that's how insecticides work.
Most companies.
I always thought of it as an herbicide. I didn't even know it had insecticide uses. Because I know I think of Roundup. Roundup.
Yeah, Roundup. Yeah.
Isn't that what glyphosate is? Roundup.
Yes. I'm guessing because I've never heard of it used as a pesticide, but if you're saying it is, I'm guessing that it works for that too. Maybe at a different dose or different delivery method.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just make sure. Yeah, you're right that it is primarily a herbicide, but and so I may have used a bit of a blanket term there. It's glyphosate is a widely used chemical herbicide that kills weeds by blocking this enzyme that is essential for plant growth. And then the question of herbicide or pesticide, and like there's insecticides and fungicides. And glyphosate is a type of pesticide, so it's very nuanced. But yes, it is a type of pesticide. But like if you look at the rats that Seralini had, where he like got rats to eat the glyphosate, and then those that didn't, hey, come in, and then he got those that didn't, and then they ended up like filling up with tumors all over their bodies, and because when the venoms go in the body, you can come here, I'll give you a hug. Why'd you get out of bed? Okay. Look at this beautiful boy.
No glyphosate for him.
Yeah, I know, right? As much as possible, but I'm sure he's got it in him, right? Because we eat out sometimes, and so, but nicotine, that's the reason why it's working for dementia, because there are alpha-7 nicotinic acetylcholine receptors in the brain. So they're going to bind to those receptors, and so you compete for it. But the reason why a lot of people aren't getting as well as they could is they're not pairing it with EDTA or something that would break the disulfide bonds of the venom so it can't reattach. So you got to think about something that will remove it out of the body. Red light will help do that as well, and that's why it's really really effective for helping the cells through the mitochondria. So I'll explain this mechanism because it's why it's so relevant, it's why it's so effective for all different conditions. Red light is getting picked up with receptors in the body like chromophores, and they're going into the mitochondria to produce ATP, adenosine triphosphate. When cells have this energy, they store it like a battery, use it immediately for all cellular function. And then that's how they get better. That's how they go and repair. That's how they detoxify. So they will inherently find the toxins and get them out. And that's why red light is proven to degrade formaldehyde out of the brain specifically. And that's why it is one of the mechanisms why it's working for Alzheimer's. But it's also because it's oxygenating the brain. It's causing oxygen to the brain cells. And your reliance on oxygen is so critical. That's why you're breathing more than anything else. You breathe more than you drink water, more than you eat, in a ratio that is dramatically different, right? You could live a couple months without food, potentially, but a couple minutes without oxygen. And so, and that's how critical it is for the cells and cellular function. And what red light does is it helps the cells undergo the complete cycle of their respiration. So cells breathe. The reason why you're breathing so much is because your cells need to breathe. And when they lack light, then they can't complete these cycles, which cause them to be able to produce important gases like nitric oxide that cause you to actually have oxygen in your blood and in your organs. And that's why it's so effective. That's why it's working post-stroke, and why I was just covering a case with it was in the British Medical Journal. The baby had a stroke when she was born. At 9 years old, she gets treated by red light. Within 3 weeks, she's now become a normal child that did not have normal social abilities, and then has now got normal social abilities and normal test scores. By 3 months, she had really completed that cycle. And it's all to do with oxygenation of the brain. And once you interface with the mitochondrial function, it will go and detoxify glyphosate out of the brain. And if I'm right about the animal venom, so you notice how I connect dots, then go and look at red light studies on envenomation, and you'll find the Bothrops asper snake was one case study where they used red light, and it was extremely effective against envenomation. And that would have been through the mitochondrial function, but they specifically showed it dropped the myotoxicity, the edema, the swelling, and all the toxic markers associated.
How much are we all full of parasites?
Oh yeah.
Like if we take some of that black walnut oil or whatever you said earlier, will most of us, will you even notice it in your poop, or would you like fill a bowl with worms and
you might. It's most are not visible, and if they're in the stool, then you won't know unless somehow they come out isolated. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people that done parasite cleanses are probably laughing because they end up getting really curious and trying to get a stick and break up their stool to try to find a parasite in there.
Wow, vile.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I'd never have done that. Yeah,
I would just be like, I bet it worked. Like, I feel better all standing there with a coat hanger. I'm like, I feel better already, actually.
But okay, I'll give you indicators though. You could often tell by the smell. There's a strong smell that is different, and a putrid smell that is kind of like something. Died.
Taylor, you're eat up with parasites.
Oh, yeah.
What you want to do?
Yeah, that's so funny.
My girlfriend's been looking for the colander
sometimes
all
make
week.
it where when you poop, you have to wipe your whole ass.
Your hip.
These damned parasites got shit water on my lower back.